I'm just sitting back reflecting, y'all, It's been another blessed day, a peaceful day for me. And I'm sitting there thinking, when you got time, I can't do what I want to go do. So I got more time to think. And then when you got more time to think, you can break things down. You can plan. You can do a lot of good things if you use your mind right. But, I was sitting there thinking about it. And I was thinking about how many followers I got. You know what I mean? I got 54 followers, but I was talking to somebody that said I'm supposed to have way more than that because my situation. Somebody's in my line, flagging me, fogging me, keeping my views and everything down. But then I thought about this too, that with all the stuff that's going on, with the stalking and harassing my followers, no. But the tripped out part, I got way more followers that are not following me online. I got way more. I got people, man, from the East Coast, from West Coast. It's like they got me on a worldwide screen. Y'all know how they put that, they take all the cameras. I'll just make an example out of it. Like I'm staying in a small city. About 7,000-8,000 people. In a little small town. And these followers that are following me that I don't even know they following me, but my story is getting so, it's like it's going viral. And they can see everything in this town that's going on. Everything. I'm telling you. They see everything that's going on in this town because you can't escape, the internet. Then with the internet, then you got the lights and stuff. They all got cameras and inside them and bulbs and all that other crazy stuff. But the whole city is lit up. Nobody really know it. It's interesting how this is breaking down because I have been paying attention the last couple of years, and I was up more than that because it was already doing it back at home. They was able to track every move I made just by street lights, cameras, lights outside buildings, all that type of stuff. I could go to a library or I could go to any government building. They would, all of a sudden, you hear that sound or you get a blink of the lights or something like that, and people be tuning in. So it's like, how on Facebook you can have Facebook social media stuff like that. You can have a private session where everything is live, and that's what's happening here. It's like they see everything that's going on. They know what I don't know. I see some things, but they see everything. It's like a live movie, live in action. People are getting together. And they got me and the city on a whole screen. Everybody know it. Everybody watching. Because it's intriguing. I step back and think about it. Say, you know what? Now I understand what's really, really going on. People are intrigued what's going to happen to me. They really are. It's more people wishing me well than there are wishing me bad. That's the crazy part. Even some of my enemies are now wishing well for me because they see what's going on and they see the scenario. This is not only reminding me, but it's reminding them of what happened to their ancestors. That's what my story's like. It's like everybody's watching. You know what I mean? I got people back home watching. I got people I don't even know watching me. People who came through my hometown, and visit and got in the neighborhoods and seen the tapes and videos they was doing. They went home, took that knowledge of where to find me at. They all watching the story. And they go up on, they talk about it and everything. It's something else. But online, because the folks on the streets, they real low key. So they, instead of setting up on your channels, they set up in the whole community, in the buildings you in, every light, camera, you name it. Has a camera, built-in camera in it because of the surveillance. The government has to have surveillance. Even like I said, the little lights, the light poles and all that, they all have cameras in them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just very interesting. I feel like even like the camera in my room, they got a camera in my room. So they got the light up top that they tap into. Cause that whenever people start tapping in, it start blinking. And got a camera here, and it's got a microphone on it. And y'all might can hear it echoing. But my followers all know it. They watching right now. They even watching the people that's stalking me. See, and I come to realize, so even though some of these folks, they like, yo, that brother, he trapped. But they don't want to get involved. But what they do, I come to find out, they call on the tip lines. And they tipping. And the streets got secret ways of doing things. You got some folks that's just, man, that's messed up, but they know they can't do too much about it because they're in the streets, and these people, from what they saying, or some folks have said, are higher up in the field. So I guess they got a little power, a little plug that make that people know what's going on. So it's just very interesting how all this stuff is breaking down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because it's to the point now that people gotta wait for me to get in touch with them. They trying to put a bond on people from even talking to me. Just like even here, I got certain people that they want to be cool, they can do stuff like that, but they can't, because if they do, then these folks will start playing games with them. You know what I'm saying? So they done tried all their methods, but even the streets from Buffalo to Chicago to North Carolina, these are all people that I know for sure have been a part of the atmosphere back home. They all went home and they watching. They watching me talking right now. If not, when they get off work or what they doing, they punch in, go online, they got their private line, they punch in. And they start seeing what's going on. It's very interesting, you know what I mean? It's really got crazy. But they know I'm telling the truth. My story is reminding them of what happened to the ancestors of the old days. So I got people who don't necessarily care for me, but they praying for me. They hoping I get through because my situation remind them of what they ancestors went through. Their ancestors had a little something going on. They stood up for what was right and this, that, and the other. And that thing, they was targeting them, trying to steal their inheritance, steal their money, steal their land, all this other type of stuff. So it's a very interesting that my story is very similar, you know what I'm saying, to what these other folks, ancestors have gone through and what some of these other folks are going through right now. It's other people going through the same thing right now. And they semi-crashing out, but at the same time, man, they hoping the brother make it through this storm, because not because they like me or anything like that, because the story touches them. It touches them in a way it's like, it's got them mad. It's like I said, they thinking about what happened to their aunts. Some of the young folks today, their grandparents was a part of their grandparents were part of Wall Street, Black Wall Street, Greenwood. They had a Wall Street in Chicago, they had a Wall Street in New York City. And all these different places have been to my hometown to party, because Buffalo was known as a party town. And people would come in from other cities and states to party on the east side of Buffalo and on downtown Buffalo, where the whole city was, North Buffalo was more of a chill out spot, but the west side, downtown Buffalo, Chippewa and all them places, east side of Buffalo are just strictly party zones. Underground party zones on top of the ground party zone. So people would come in to Buffalo just to party. They'll stay the weekend, leave out Monday. But Buffalo, they got the underground parties. They had a big screens up there. They show all this stuff, and some real. I guess what some people would say, some real freaky stuff. So, with that being said, all these people, I had a person tell me about maybe almost a year ago. They was like, man, you got hundreds and hundreds of followers that you don't even know about. Because I was complaining about my YouTube channel and stuff being hacked and not being able to, somebody was tapping in and keeping me from getting the views and likes that I was supposed to have. I got 54 likes after a year and some change, and by their words and stuff like that, I should have at least 500 followers by now because of the things that I was talking at that time. Now lately I haven't been doing much of it like I used to, but it's because you're fighting a battle, and sometimes you slow up, and sometimes you need to take a break mentally and you get back on your feet. But I just find that very interesting. That's why, I already knew God would hold it down for me. But it's like God said, okay, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to hold them up, but at the same time, I'm going to get so many people involved that they're going to have to be taken down. They're going to have to be taken down eventually. All I got to do is keep doing what I'm doing. And that's what the other folks are saying. Just stay calm, don't crash out, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to do because I know I got God with me. I'm not going to lose my control because I already am seeing the things God done in the past. So I have no reason to crash out because I ain't seen how God works. And they talk about that too. Some folks back home, they tell people that come to my town, when they talking to them, they tell them about my story. They tell them about the things that happen to people when they try to attack me. So I got a lot of stories out there. So I just sit there thinking about it. I said, man, that is some wild stuff. You know what I mean? Just to have, it's unbelievable. I got way more followers offline than I got online. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's really crazy how this is going down. I don't know the names of my stalkers, but the people that's in the background, they know their name, their job, their address. They know everything about them. They know everything about them. I'm telling you, the streets got some of the biggest investigators out there. They can research and find you in a drop of a dime. Ain't no hiding from the street folks. The street folks got connections to the connections to the connections. And you can't hide from them. No matter how high up in the ladder you are. They know who you are, what you do for a living, how many kids you got. Trust and believe. They know all that. Now all I know is the face and maybe some of the jobs of the people that are attacking me. I know that. I might know what cars they drive, what trucks they drive, what time they might go to work, things like that. And I only do that to protect myself because of how they're coming at me. So it's just very interesting, And I thought I'd share that with somebody because there's a lot of people online who are going through similar things and offline. Some people trying to get their business off the ground. They got great ideas. They got property. They got different things. And then here come these people doing the same things that the old Romans did and the Catholic Church folks, the leaders back in the days, did to our people. And when I say our people, I'm talking about not just black. Because just about every race on the planet has been attacked by these people, these kind of people. So, with that being said, it's just very interesting. It's very interesting. So, stay strong, stay blessed. Don't give up. God is a good God. He gonna make sure you be all right. The Creator God is gonna make sure that you are all right. You just have to remember that you are a God too, with a smaller G. You see, we got the big G with the big G and the small G, for us, for the people who gave themselves to the Father. We all are part of the Father's handcraft. So stay strong on that. And if I can stay moving forward with all these attacks I'm going on, being locked down in this city for 2 years and being locked down for 10 years back home, it's I know you can hold it down. Y'all know I know that y'all can hold it down. There ain't no way y'all can't hold it down. If y'all watching me hold it down, I sure enough expect y'all to hold it down. No matter what happens. If I can hold it down through these attacks from these people that's trying to take my assets from me and have already gotten some of my assets, but I gotta let God play it out. Because I can't do what I want to do. I can't really go talk to the people in charge because I don't know who's legit and who ain't. But with that being said, y'all got to keep y'all head up. There's no excuse for y'all to crash out. We have lost quite a few people the last couple of years to suicide because of these type of attacks. I can't even count on two hands how many people on social media went to the graveyard because the stalking and harassment was too much. It was too much and they couldn't handle it. And next thing you know, you're hearing about their funeral online. It's a sad thing. These people, but this is what they live for. If they can't outright kill you, they hoping you kill yourself. And then they'll take whatever you got, and move on to the next person. The streets know, just like the other folks know. But, a lot of people just don't want to get targeted like we are being targeted. So they try to keep their mouth closed in public settings, but behind closed doors, they talking about, they watching, it's a real live movie wheel. Going on 24/7. Nobody moving without them knowing it. I'm telling you. They know everybody involved. I'm telling you, the streets ain't no joke. The streets ain't no joke. At least back home where I know how they flow. They tap into every damn thing. And believe me, a whole lot of people know me back home and beyond. I got a huge following. Thanks to the Father and some of the things that He allowed me to do and that He undone that they unseen. So with that being said, there's no excuse for you crashing out. Stay strong, stay blessed, and don't give up. And thank whoever y'all are who are tipping in the hotlines, sneaking in information to the right people. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Stay blessed. Stay strong. Peace.